Have you ever looked at someone, maybe a friend, partner, or even a family member, and thought, "You don't see me the same way anymore"? Do you? It stings. Like a slow, silent rejection. And what do most of us do? We try harder. We overgive. We start shrinking ourselves just to be seen again. But here's the truth bomb no one tells you. The more you chase people's attention, the less they value you. In today's video, I'm going to give you one simple psychological trick that flips the entire dynamic. No drama. No mind games. Just a powerful shift in energy that puts the control back in your hands. You ready? Let's talk about what to do when someone stops valuing you. We've all been there. At first you mattered. They texted you back. They asked how you were doing. They noticed the little things. And then slowly, they didn't. You became an option. A maybe. You're always there, always giving, always reaching, but somehow still invisible. Here's what's happening under the hood psychologically. People value what they perceive as rare and hard to get. Not in a manipulative way, but in a basic human psychology way. Think about it. We take the sun for granted because it rises every day. But when there's an eclipse, suddenly, everyone's outside staring at the sky. When you're always emotionally available, people stop noticing you. Not because they're bad people, but because we're wired to tune out what we think will always be there. There's a fundamental law of human behavior that explains why people stop valuing others. It's called the scarcity principle. The less available something is, the more we want it. The more available something is, the less we value it. Think about it. Why do limited edition sneakers sell out in seconds? Why do exclusive restaurants have month-long waiting lists? Because scarcity creates value. And here's the brutal truth. When you become too available, too predictable, too eager to please someone who's already taking you for granted, you're actually teaching them to value you less. When someone doesn't value you anymore, the most powerful thing you can do is step back. Not in anger, not as a game, but as a clear statement of your own worth. Why does this work? Simple psychology. Humans don't value what's always available. We take for granted what we know won't disappear. Think about it. When's the last time you felt grateful for oxygen? Probably never, because it's always there. The same principle applies to relationships. When you're constantly available, always texting first, always making the plans, always giving more than you receive, you're teaching that person your attention is guaranteed. And what's guaranteed rarely gets appreciated. Let's say you're in a relationship where you're always the one planning dates, sending good morning texts, asking about their day. Suddenly you stop. The pattern breaks. They notice the silence. They wonder what changed. That gap creates awareness they never had when you were constantly present. This works in every type of relationship because it's rooted in human psychology. We value what we fear losing. We appreciate what isn't guaranteed. We notice what's suddenly absent. Look at friendships. When you're the one who always initiates plans, who always checks in, who's always available at a moment's notice, what happens? The friendship becomes unbalanced. Your value gets overlooked because it's expected. Now imagine you stop initiating for 2 weeks. Stop being instantly available. Stop being the emotional support system without reciprocation. The dynamic shifts immediately. They feel the absence. They wonder what changed. They recognize the value that was always there but taken for granted. The workplace is no different. When you constantly volunteer for extra work, accept last-minute requests, and make yourself available 24/7, people start expecting it. Your exceptional effort becomes their normal expectation. But watch what happens when you establish clear boundaries. You leave work on time. You decline last-minute requests without clear compensation. You stop solving problems others created through poor planning. Suddenly, your value becomes apparent. People respect your time. Your input carries more weight. Your skills get recognized. This isn't manipulation. It's human nature. We simply don't value what we don't have to work for. When someone pulls away and you chase harder, you're sending a dangerous message. My value depends on your validation. You're telling them your worth is negotiable, that they can treat you however they want and you'll still be there. Stepping back sends the opposite message. My value isn't determined by your treatment of me. It shows you respect yourself enough to walk away from situations where you're not valued appropriately. This isn't about punishing anyone. It's about energy redistribution. Every bit of energy you pour into someone who doesn't reciprocate is energy stolen from your own growth, from people who do value you, from goals that actually move your life forward. See yourself constantly chasing someone's approval, a romantic partner, a friend, a family member, a boss. Every day you're giving 80% while they give 20%. Every night, you're analyzing their behavior, wondering what you did wrong, strategizing how to fix it. That mental and emotional energy is massive. Now imagine redirecting that energy, putting it into your health, your goals, your genuine connections. The transformation happens fast because suddenly you're investing in yourself rather than pouring into a leaking bucket. Here's what stepping back actually looks like. No dramatic announcements, no angry confrontations, no emotional ultimatums or passive-aggressive social media posts. Just a quiet redirection of your energy. You stop initiating. You become less available. You focus on people and activities that actually fill you up rather than drain you. This creates a natural consequence. They feel your absence. And that absence speaks volumes about your value in a way your words never could. When someone who's used to your constant attention suddenly doesn't have it, they're forced to reevaluate. They notice the gap you've left. They recognize what you brought to their life that they've been taking for granted. Some will step up in response. They'll realize what they've been missing and make real changes. They'll start initiating, showing appreciation, matching your energy. Others won't, and that's valuable information too. If someone doesn't notice or care when you stop overgiving, they were never valuing you in the first place. Better to know now than invest more years into someone who can't match your energy. Think about that friend who only calls when they need something. Every conversation revolves around their problems, their life, their needs. You're always available, always supportive, always there. But when you need support, they're mysteriously busy. Now imagine you become suddenly less available. Stop responding immediately. Stop dropping everything when they call. Either they'll notice the imbalance and correct it, or they'll find another emotional resource, proving they valued what you provided, not who you are. Also, let's look at the romantic partner who's become complacent. They've stopped making an effort, stopped appreciating your contributions, and stopped treating you like a priority. The more you try to fix things, the more they pull back. When you step back and match their energy instead of compensating for it, one of two things happens. They wake up and realize what they stand to lose, or they continue fading away, confirming they weren't invested in the relationship's success. And your boss who piles on responsibilities without recognition or compensation. Every time you excel, they simply expect more. They know you'll handle everything because you always have. The moment you stop being available for last-minute emergencies, stop taking on extra work without acknowledgement, stop solving problems that aren't yours to fix, that's when your value becomes impossible to ignore. But here's the most important part of stepping back. It's not actually about getting them to value you again. It's about remembering your own worth. When you stop chasing validation, you start remembering your inherent value. You rebuild the relationship with yourself that often gets damaged when you're constantly seeking external approval. Here's a powerful scenario. Imagine you've been chasing someone's approval for months or even years, constantly adjusting yourself to fit their expectations. Always available when they need you, always understanding when they disappoint you. Then one day you stop. Not because you're trying to manipulate them, but because you're exhausted from giving so much to someone who gives so little in return. So you redirect that energy back to yourself. You reconnect with friends you've neglected. Pursue interests you've abandoned. Focus on goals you've postponed. Build a life so full and meaningful that their approval becomes less important. A remarkable thing happens in this space. As you become less available to them, you become more available to yourself. As you stop monitoring their reactions, you start noticing your own needs. As you quit trying to earn their validation, you begin providing it for yourself. And ironically, this self-focused energy makes you magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who know their worth, who don't need constant validation, who have boundaries and standards. Think about the people you respect most. Are they constantly seeking approval? Are they always available? Are they continuously overgiving while receiving little in return? Or do they have clear boundaries, healthy standards, and an unshakable sense of self-worth? When you step back from someone who doesn't value you, you're not just changing how they see you, you're changing how you see yourself. You're declaring that your time, energy, and presence are valuable resources, not guaranteed rights. And that declaration transforms everything. Let's be practical about implementation. When you decide to step back, check your intention. If you're stepping back to manipulate someone into giving you attention, it won't work. They'll sense the game-playing energy and either match it or walk away. Your motivation needs to be self-care, not strategic maneuvering. Be consistent. Don't step back one day, then panic and overcorrect the next. That creates confusion rather than clarity. Once you decide to match their energy, maintain that boundary until you see consistent change. Use the reclaimed time wisely. Don't sit around waiting for them to notice your absence. Fill that space with people who value you appropriately, activities that fulfill you, and projects that advance your goals. Some people worry that stepping back means giving up on the relationship. It's actually the opposite. It's giving the relationship a chance to find its natural balance instead of forcing it to work through your constant overcompensation. Think about what happens when one person is always giving 80% while the other gives 20%. The imbalance creates resentment on one side, entitlement on the other. By stepping back to a more equal energy exchange, you're actually creating space for a healthier connection. You might wonder, what if they don't come back? What if they don't notice I've stepped away? That's valuable information. If someone doesn't notice your absence, they weren't noticing your presence either. If they can easily move on when you stop overgiving, they were there for what you provided, not who you are. Either way, you win. You either create space for a more balanced relationship, or you free yourself from one that was draining your energy with minimal return. The ultimate truth here goes beyond tactics and psychology. When someone stops valuing you, it reveals something important about how they view relationships. It shows they see connection as transactional rather than inherently valuable. And that information is a gift, because it helps you invest your precious energy where it will be reciprocated. Do you want to be with someone who only values you when they fear losing you? Or do you want relationships with people who consistently recognize your worth, even when you're not going above and beyond? When you step back from someone who doesn't value you, pay close attention to what happens next. Do they step forward, recognizing what they've been taking for granted? Or do they simply find someone else to fill the role you've been playing? Their response tells you everything you need to know about their capacity to truly see and appreciate you. Here's the final truth: you don't need everyone to value you. You just need to value yourself enough to walk away from those who don't. When someone stops valuing you, don't chase them. Don't try to prove your worth. Don't become more available in hopes they'll finally see what they're missing. Step back. Redirect your energy. Focus on your growth. Let your absence reveal what your presence could not. Let your silence speak what your words could not. Let your self-respect teach what your explanations could not. And whether they come back or stay away, you'll be standing in your worth either way. Either way, you win.